welcome to Book Talk with Toodles. Okay, guys, these are books that I would reread and recommend. And I read every one of them, and I gave every one of them a 5-star. Let's start off with Stephanie Gerber, Carvel. Start off with Carvel. I definitely love this book. I did not read the book. I did an audiobook on the whole series. Now that I have the books, I need to read them. Audiobook is what made me want to go buy the book series. I kept hearing people talk about Carvel, go read it, go read it. It's a really good book. This book, the first one, is like a game. And they're playing a game and you're trying to find your way out. They're trying to find the way out. They can't find the way out. And they're going through and through and through, and it's a good book. You buy a ticket, one ticket for one person. You're going into like this carnival deal, and you never come out. You never come out. And you're trying to find your way out. Amazing book. Audiobook was good. I would not mind having the audiobook of the Carvel book series. And I may look it up on Amazon for audiobooks and get the audiobooks of Carvel and have the regular books and the audio books. I need to read the regular books. And since I've already did the audio read. That was the first time I did it. And I found it at my local library. I was looking up for the book Carvel to read it. They didn't have the book. It was in use. But they had the audio book of it. And I did the audio book. And it was good. The next one, I read this book because so many people talked about it. I had to read the book. It is a 5-star read for me. The best book series ever besides Carvel. The best book series ever, and that is Shatter Me. I got this book this past Christmas, and I love it because it's like that. And it's like that. And I love it. And this book I read the host, I read all but the last book in this series. And I need to read the last book, but I've decided I have the whole book series, but I want to start over again and reread the whole series and then read the last book. Or I need to read book 5 and then go on. Reread book 5 and then go to book 6. So if you haven't read Shatter Me or Carvel, you should read them. The next one is by Daniel Steele. I read this in a day and I was in dialysis. And it's Daniel Steele's sister. In this book, I mean, there's things that happen between sisters. And they end up making up. Still being good. I wished I had a sister. I read this book and I put myself as a character wishing I had sisters like this and could do it. One of the girls in here, she cannot have children. And she got pregnant, had a miscarriage, and they told her she could not have no more children. And it's sad. It made me cry, but it also made me laugh a little bit, cry. And I wished I would have had sisters. I'm the only girl in my family. Well, not the only girl now, but born with my mom and my dad. I have 2 brothers and just me. But this is a good book. If you have not read it, read it. Daniel Steele is one of my authors that I love to read. Okay. The next one is a good book. It is thick, as you can tell. It's thick. And it took me a while to get through this book. I'm not going to say it took me a week. It took me a couple days to get through this book. And that's great. When I first read this book by Tracy Wolf, I knew I could reread it again. And I love the way the edges are here. I don't know if the other books I have of her, I have the whole book series. And I love the book series. I love, love, love this book series. I had this one in paperback, and now I have it in hardback. I got rid of the paperback, and now I have it in hardback. Because I wanted the whole, when I get a book series, I don't want to have like 2 hardcovers and then 2 paperbacks. Because it's not worth it. I want it, if I'm going to start it, if I started it, get it in paperback, and then I want all of it in paperback. But I started it in paperback, Crave, and then I bought the other books, and they were in hardback. So I was like, I gotta get the first book in hardback. And finally, I found it at my local library for $1. You can't go wrong. The next book is by Allie Hazelwood. One of my first books I've ever read by her. This was my first book I read by Tracy Wolf. And, okay. Same with the other authors. Those are the first books I read by them. Bride. Oh my god. This took me 2 days to read. Because I was reading, and then I had to run errands, and then I come back and read some more. And I was sitting at my kitchen table reading this book. It was a Friday. And I sat there and started it Friday, finished it Saturday. Because Friday we were, I gotta go to the hardware store, I gotta do this, gotta do that. So I went with my husband. Get out of the house and go with my husband. Instead of being in the house, because I'm always in the house all day, cooped up. Or I was at the time. Now I'm not. Read it 2 days. This book can take some people a day to read. It depends on your reading status. This was an amazing book. I would definitely reread this again. I'm actually wanting to reread this book again. Same with the other books. Now, I love Penelope Douglas. She's a good author. This is the first book by Penelope Douglas that I read, and that was Punk 57. When I first heard people talk about this book, I was thinking it was a scary book, like a mystery novel. No, it's a love novel. It's a love story. And it was a good love story. There's another book by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It is The Naturals. I don't have the book here to show you, but the first book in the series, The Naturals. I definitely want to reread that whole book series. And I'm thinking maybe this summer, or not this summer, but next year, rereading the whole book series. So you'll be seeing me post a picture like this, book I'm reading, and you'll probably see those books. La Penelope Douglas. The next book is by Emily McIntyre. It is one of the first books by her that I've ever read. And I love this girl. I love the books Hooked. This year, I started rereading the whole book series. I stopped at book 2 while I was in the hospital. I was like, when I'm in the hospital, I need books to read. And I just don't want to read just a book. I want to read a series, a book series. See how many of the books that I can get through. Well, I was reading Hooked again before I went in the hospital. So I didn't take this with me in the hospital because I finished it. But I started book 2. I'm still in the middle of book 2, rereading it, but they are good reads. And I've seen a lot of people, another book that I did not put in this that I would actually reread, 2 other ones, and that's Harry Potter and Twilight. I have all the Twilight books, and I have all the Harry Potter books. Those are some books that I definitely would reread. This is a reread book for me. It is in July's books to reread, and it is the very first book I read of hers, and it also is one of the first books that got me back into my reading and off my reading slump. The spice in this book, OMG. Everything that he did to her in this book, I wish I had done to me. I put myself as a character in the book and enjoyed every bit of it. And my husband hated me reading it. There's another book that I also would reread that I give a 5-star read, and that is It's Adventures with the Boss. The spice in that one. The ending of the book was amazing. The book had a lot of spice in it, and my husband didn't let me read that book because every time I'd get to spicy parts in the book, my mouth would drop, and I would set the book aside and go snuggle with him. And you know what I wanted? And he's like, no more books like that. Trust me, I've got a lot like that. And that was Verity by Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover is one of my favorite authors. I would read every book she has. And I have this one, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 of her books. I definitely want to get all of her books. So I need to write down the book in my books I want. I need to write Colleen Hoover down and figure out what books that are literally there that I can actually go and literally reread. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. And until next time, guys, bye. And if you read any of these books, go read them. And if you have read them, then give this video a thumbs up. Till next time, bye, guys.